you took advantage of this occasion. Your being here is a great thing, and this is meant for you. This is actually meant for you. So it's really important that you decided to take advantage of this. Just to begin, I have 10 minutes looking at the program lineup, and I have to make use of these 10 minutes. The guests of this occasion, the audience, I greet you all. Standing before you here is Ngong Atem by name, a human resource practitioner for the last 15 years across different international organizations in the UN system and other international NGOs. And with a focus on policy development and social protection and staff well-being. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say my work, as I mentioned and also mentioned by the moderator, is that I am a human resource practitioner or a consultant. This is something that I did for years. I want you to understand that this is a man that worked for different organizations, including the UNMISS right here, the IRC, the Concern Worldwide, the IMC, the WFP, among others. This is a long experience. And I want to say it's an honor to stand before you here, ladies and gentlemen, to speak on a topic that is at the very heart of personal and professional development. This is Speak to Succeed, looking at the job interviews and growth, the professional growth. For you to understand, we all understand that public speaking as art is something not easy. We all agree with this. All of us that are standing in front of you here are not public speakers. But because we all need to learn, is the reason why we encourage everyone to take public speaking as something that anybody can do. I want to say that let's all agree that public speaking can be learned. I'm sure nobody is born as a public speaker, even though there are some few that are maybe natural gifted public speakers like those of Mulana Tanwe. Many of us, or majority of us here, learn public speaking through personal commitment and individual practice. Is that not true? So it means public speaking is an art that can be learned. Ladies and gentlemen, throughout my 15 years of experience, I can't imagine how many thousands of people that I've interviewed through job interviews. And one thing that I've learned throughout these 15 years of experience is the communication aspect of it. It's the communication aspect. In humanitarian world, your PhDs, your master's program, your master's degrees, your bachelor's degrees can market you, they can invite you, they can make you invited for an interview, but for you to present what you got is most important. And this is the reason why most of the people, the people with high academic qualification or profile sometimes could not even present what they have. So it is very important to understand that your highest academic qualification or the long years of experience is not the matter. It's what you will present is what the interviewers looked at. We understand communication is not more than just words. Communication in this case is the bridge between the ideas, your ideas, our ideas, and the world. You understand? And this is why when you are invited for an interview, your first impression matters a lot. And that's where the interview panel will understand that this person knows what he is here for. From my experience, there are people that can do a best written interview, scoring over 80, 90%, but when they are invited for an interview, they sit in front of the panel, they could not speak. And this is the reason why most of our colleagues, could not get the jobs of their dreams, of what they want. So I want us to understand that regardless of whatever we have, whatever we have studied, let's ensure that communication is very important. There's one of our colleagues that was admitted for a PhD student, for a PhD program in Kenyatta University. He's one of our own, from a really specific. This person made a decision to enroll on intensive English training, and people were talking behind this person. A person doing PhD, why is he doing English training? I said, when this thing came to my attention, I said, colleagues, language is a different thing altogether. This person made the right choice. His PhD program and intensive English training are two different things. This person wants to know the language, and this is the reason why you see him doing this. So I want to say that it's very important that we take the art of public speaking as a course of importance. I remember my colleague over there, Ngong Atem, 2 weeks ago, acknowledged that public speaking is an art of its own. He has been out of Juba. He has been working outside Juba for long. But since he came to Juba here, I have been engaging him in most of the things, be it the student gathering, be it the community and all this. And he was invited. In most of the occasions, he was invited to give a speech. So, though he was doing some presentation, because he's also another humanitarian worker, he worked for so long, he finds it very hard that, standing in front of a gathering, thousands of people, like what happened in Freedom Hall in Nyakron and all this, where he got to speak. There's something that he learned, and he told me, man, you really introduced me, you really, you put me into something that I am learning something. Because art of public speaking is something that is very hard. So he acknowledged this, and I understand, when he said this, I understand that public speaking is not easy. I have to admit this, and we all have to admit this. Maybe on your chair right there, or maybe on the desk, you'll be speaking in your heart, you'll be saying now, so-and-so is not doing it well. But when you stand here, is where you will know that it's not easy. It's like how we blame the players. When you are outside as a spectator, the players, you're saying this person is not playing well, this person is not scoring, this person is not doing that. But if you get to the field, you will know how hard it is. So I want us to understand that public speaking is just the same like the way we blame footballers. There are leaders, there are so many leaders who keep blaming that they're holding PhDs and they're not speaking well. Why are they doing this and that? Try, come and stand here and we'll see how you will speak better. Now, there are three key things. Before I conclude, there are three key things that I need. Coming back to the topic. The topic that was given to me was Speak to Succeed, effective communication for job interviews and career growth. I want us to understand that communication for job interviews is very important. And that's why I said early on that first impression is very important. So try to observe 5 C's of communication. I know most of you are students and you know what it is, or you know what those 5 C's mean. So you need to be very, very clear and concise when you're giving. You also need to prepare and speak for yourself. Because in the job interviews, especially oral interviews, 90% of the speaking comes from you, the candidate. It's only 10% that the interview panel does. But you, the candidate, is the one that does 90%. So get prepared and speak for yourself. Nobody will speak for yourself. Your papers will not speak for you. That's very important. Keep practicing, and also have some active listening, because if you don't understand very well a question that is asked, you'll be offline. You'll be answering what is not asked. And this is the reason why many of us fail the interviews. So it is very important. The second important thing that I also need to mention is that after getting the interview, yes, you went through the interviews and you get the job. After getting the job, communication doesn't end there. There's communication in workplace. There's communication at workplace. Because you're not working alone, you're working with people. And as working with people, there is need to be using professional language. You don't need to be using those jargon, those slang, the market language and all this. No, it doesn't work like that. For the young people that are still looking for jobs, the moment you get a job, please, you have to learn the professional communication, and you know how to, like, sending the communication through email, making the presentation. You must know what language you can use to convey your message. This is very important. And as teamwork is also concerned, it's very important that sharing your ideas with others is part of teamwork. You have to be so engaged with other colleagues. The clarity in written communication is one key important thing at work. The clarity in written, before you send your email to your boss or to other people, please read, check very well. You can even ask your colleagues that please see this whether it is okay, if you are not so contented with what you want to send. And the third important thing, that's the second one. That's now when you are already on the job. The third one is the communication for career growth. The communication for career growth here, of course, you don't need to, as you get the job, you don't need to stop where you are. You need to grow in your profession. And to do that, you actually have to seek feedback from other colleagues for self-improvement. Because sometimes it is hard for us to do self-evaluation. You cannot know your areas of weakness or where you're not doing well. But if you ask your colleague, that person will tell you, please, you better do it this way. That is kind of feedback from colleagues. And it's important, it was mentioned here that public speaking is very important. So practice public speaking, like what we're doing here today. The moment you will be now practicing public speaking, the chance that you will grow in your career, and that's how the career growth and development comes in. So it's very important, and you must also do the networking. Networking at work is part of career growth, because that will help you move from where you are to another senior role within the system. Just to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say, to succeed in today's competitive world, it's very important to know that what you say and how you say that is just important as what you know. What am I saying here? What am I saying here? When I say that what you say and how you say it is just important as what you know. Because even if you know this and you don't know how to say it, you won't get there. And that's why I gave you an example of a person that is passing maybe the written test of 90% and is not making it in the oral. That person didn't get a job. So here, what you know is one thing, and how you say it is another. This is very important. And just to conclude, let's speak effectively so that we succeed in life. Thank you so much. I beg to stop here.